We are at Mahindra's new India Design Studio right here in Mumbai, MIDS as they call it, Mahindra India Design Studio. And that right there is Pratap Bose, the head of Mahindra Design. Pratap, hi.
Thanks.
Sorry we're barging in.
Hi.
But like you said, you're going to give us a tour today of the new facilities. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Right, on the new studio. And how does this fit in with your design studio in the UK?
Yeah, so Sergius, welcome. First of all, thank you for coming. It's a great day for us at Mahindra Design, Mahindra Global Design, and that's where the UK studio comes in. You know, MIDS and MADE were both created to be truly creative powerhouses for the company. So just we are now multiple businesses in Mahindra Auto and Farm. So for example, even if you looked 3 or 4 years ago, there wouldn't have been something called last mile mobility. You know, that's something we've added on. Our portfolio in SUVs, tractors, CVs, everything has grown, buses and trucks. So to do that, to service, you know, the different businesses and the scale and size and ambition they have, we also have to, increase our design. The design side, and the investment in MIDS, not only in the hardware but in the people, is a part of that story, and it becomes a global story when we add our UK studio. Both have very distinct, identities and roles, but they also share a lot of commonality, and I think that balance is great.
Okay, so right here, Pratap, since we're up here and as we walk around, let's just start here. What is happening here? Right?
So, this is like I said, the creative sort of nerve center. All cars are born, all
Doodles.
products actually born like this, pen on paper.
A doodle, yeah.
Yeah, pen on paper doodle. Then they become, more defined sort of set of sketches. But if you go along here, you can see the team has, some really incredible digital skills as well. Those same sketches are transformed into, into digital data, and where we can really zoom into very, very fine details. This data we are able to share with our engineering team. We are able to share with a supplier anywhere in the world. So going from the physical to, the sketch to digital is a critical jump.
And also a 3D.
Yeah,
right?
and it's three-dimensional.
Yeah, and now you get your depth.
So everything you see here has an X, Y, and Z axis. Right. Keep that in mind, because I'm going to say how that's used later.
Okay. Got that. Great. So where next? What do you want to show
So now
us
I think,
next?
so like I said, this is where all the functions of design sit.
So exterior, interior,
yes,
all here?
Yeah, exterior, interior, digital, visualization, color, materials, finish. They all sort of sit here, and we need them to sit here because they all work with each other so intensely. The HMI team also sits up here. That's becoming a very important function.
It is designed today, right?
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. So, the 6 or 7 different design verticals are just all sit up here, and they work as one team. They of course interact globally with the UK studio on a daily basis.
Okay.
This is not like, on some project we will, some project we won't. We do this on a daily basis.
Okay, awesome. So, in fact, before we head down there, how many people do you have working up here, Pratap? I mean, like how big are you all now?
So we are about 100 people here now. So just when I started in sort of June 21, we would have been 50 odd.
Okay.
So we've kind of doubled the capacity, capability in these 2.5, 3 years. So it's like I said, it's not only the physical expansion of the studio, it's actually the ability, capacity and capability. It's all of these things.
Got it. Yeah. And these plates, you call them plates, right?
Yeah,
here?
Plates, yeah.
So this is basically your, I would say, capacity to model different models. So how many plates do you have in this studio?
So the brand new one, which I'll show you.
Okay. Should we head straight there?
Yeah, we can straight head there.
Okay.
That's the largest plate we have. We can do 2 cars simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got the 2 individual smaller plates.
Okay, got it.
So that gives us, the kind of capacity we need. These are of course very, very flexible, so you can put cars on and off, work on them, take them off. And we're never usually working in one studio on more than 4 or 5 products. So, you know, so this is the kind of capacity.
So you said two simultaneously, or
Yeah.
can you also do like a bus or a truck on this?
Yeah, you can do a truck on this easily. Truck, usually we do just the cabin.
Just the cabin.
So you don't really need the
Exactly,
truck
yeah.
or a pickup even,
Right.
unless it's a designed pickup.
Right.
Like we showed the global pickup concept.
Okay, right.
That was a styled,
Right.
you know, pickup. But yeah, you can do all of that. You can do interiors here. We can do so you could do a car exterior, car interior simultaneously, for
Okay.
example. And all of these products have gone through that process.
Right.
This kind of, we call this a 5-axis milling machine.
Right.
I spoke about X, Y, and Z upstairs.
Yes.
So you are saying that's only 3 axes,
Right.
which is the 4th and the 5th. So of course we all know X, Y, and Z, but you
Right.
need a 4th one which is up and down like that, and a 5th goes across like this. And with that head, basically the way the head moves is
The thing over there.
yeah,
Okay.
it's in multi-axis of
Okay.
that milling machine. So it can basically shape all that digital data which is created upstairs.
Right.
Comes down here and gets shaped into our clay models.
Okay. So what's the difference in job roles of a robot, a 5-axis milling machine, and an actual clay modeler?
So if I can be really mean to the machine,
Okay.
usually-
They don't have feelings.
yeah, it's a worker bee. It's a gadha majuri. You know, it does the heavy lifting.
Right.
Where the human or where our human intervention comes in is at a much more artistic level. You know, it's really at the refinement of the surfaces,
Right.
the highlights. You know, we check the way the light reflects. You see these lines. We
Right.
can put only those on and see only the lines here. So reflections.
Got that.
That translates into how the car looks in the showroom,
Right.
in pictures, on the street, everywhere. So that is something, so just we spend a lot of time on doing, refining every bit of the car.
Got that. So basically, that guy is, like you said, the worker bee. So he probably works on through the night,
Oh,
gets things ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for your designers to come in the
yes,
morning.
that's exactly right.
Okay,
we,
awesome,
we,
yeah.
we make our poor 5-axis milling machine work all night.
through the night, yeah.
And then, you know, in the morning, the designers and the clay team will come and refine the car.
Right. So I have to ask you something about the clay as well, Pratap. So the studio here in Bombay that you have, you are obviously, like what we have here, doing a 1:1 scale. Right? Do you all also do smaller scales?
Yes.
So what
So,
scales do you
Sergius,
all have?
we have seen that 40%,
Okay.
not quarter. A lot of people think 40% is quarter.
Yes. Yeah.
That's 25. 40% scale works very well for us.
Okay.
Because what we can do is we can work that by hand.
Okay.
Then we have a hand scanning machine. It's a laser scanner,
Okay.
which captures the surfaces, again in X, Y, Z.
Right.
And we take it back into the digital world.
Okay.
And then we blow it up we multiply that by 2.5, and you get the full size.
Full size.
Yeah, so you can go very quickly from a 40% scale. It's just the right size to work fast, but also has the definition that you need.
Okay.
Which is why we do 40%. And we do multiple. So you can explore 5, 6, 7 themes.
Right.
The designers can even try it themselves
Got
before
that.
we choose.
Got that.
yeah.
And a question on the clay. I mean, I can see there's a lot down there as well, right? This clay is not obviously your regular clay that we've played with, right? Play-Doh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is it and where do you get it from? And can you reuse it? In fact, I've seen a lot of it down here.
So,
yeah.
So this is a
Yeah.
clay specifically for automotive design.
Okay.
It's made by various companies in the world.
Okay.
There are a few, some in Japan and some
Okay.
in Europe. And we bring these. These are sulfur free,
Okay.
which is very good for the health of the. You know,
worker.
earlier generations of clay used to emit sulfur. These are all sulfur free.
Oh, okay.
And they are 100% reusable.
Okay.
So, Sergius, what happens is we have an oven
Okay.
that we keep at 63 degrees, and the clay becomes pliable.
Right.
And then when we put it on and the machine and the humans have, or the guys have worked on it, this stuff which comes off, we put back into the oven
Okay.
and it becomes
Right.
soft again.
Got
So
it.
we can use that endless number of times. So it's
Right.
it's a very sort of eco-friendly process in that sense. Yeah.
Awesome.
But this is not made in India yet. And
So I've got to ask you, if you can share, how much does it cost?
That's a very good
kilo?
question. I sign a lot of bills, but
It's expensive, I guess.
yeah, because especially because it's imported.
exactly.
It's imported,
Okay.
and going back to our conversation on the ecosystem of design
Right.
in India, these are some of the things I think eventually will have to be created in India.
In India.
For design to be, or the material to be used in multiple companies.
Right, and for multiple things also, right? I would think industrial design too. I mean, you could use this. It doesn't have to be only cars.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be only the big companies. I think startups find it very difficult to integrate clay because it just costs so much, and you need the people.
Right.
There are very few clay modelers as well. So again, we hope that this studio, the kind of attention and care we've put into creating this environment attracts people into some of these new areas of automotive design, new for India. It's not only about exterior sketch and interior sketch. I would love to show you some of the other areas.
let's do that, yeah.
What are these new areas?
So, yeah, let me guess. This is CMF.
Yeah, it's part of CMF.
Okay.
So here is HMI.
HMI, yes, of course.
Gaurav and team are, of course, our HMI design specialists. Earlier, it used to be a human and machine interaction. It was kind of one way. You only got information. Then it became two way. You gave an input.
Right.
Now it's human, machine, and world. I call it HMWI in a way because you want to interact with things happening outside the world.
Yeah.
That's true. From the third screen.
Yeah. True.
You can know what's happening anywhere in the world.
Correct.
So it's not just a human and machine anymore. It's human, machine, and
the world. And the outside.
So this is what that amazing team does. This is our, like you said, color, material, finish. Everything that the customer touches, feels, sees, including these little hidden, Easter eggs, are designed by this team. How it all comes together.
So selection of material as well.
And creation of material. So this...
Creation.
Because this fabric, for example, is 50% PET bottles.
Okay, so you mean this is not a regular fabric you've picked off a fabric producer?
No, the fabric producer created this
foil
fabric for us. Okay. Using 50% recycled
PET
plastic bottles.
Right.
How colors work in different light, how the grain works. Graining, this is from B6, these are in other cars. You'll always in your journalistic reviews get into a car and say, looks very plasticky or something looks very scratchy. So this is the job that this amazing team does. They make sure plastic doesn't feel plasticky. Every company will use this material, but it's what you do to treat it at the grain level.
Correct.
Is where it really comes out.
Yeah, and I suppose the reflection, the way it catches light.
Yeah. Matting it down.
Right.
If it's too glossy. This is what we call the design quality team. They are really the ones who go into microscopic detail of how a part, when it emerges from a tool or when they come together, will look to the customer. If you look at the front fender, bonnet, lamp, grille area, there are probably 6 or 7 components coming together, but in different materials. So steel will expand in a different way to plastic.
Right.
Plastic itself will have 3 or 4 different plastics. When they expand, what happens to the gaps?
Right.
What happens to the shut lines? That's what this amazing team is able to do.
So you've got steel, plastic, glass, and then of course some painted, some not painted.
A car uses probably every industrial material that there is.
That is
that there is. And again, when it comes out of a mold, the component, you've got some ribs at the back, but you don't see any marks of that in the front. That's an art to it.
Okay, so that's what this is. I was just going to ask, what does this look like? So this is the mold.
This is a mold for a component. I don't know what the component is, but it is a tool. It's the
injection mold.
Injection molding tool. And, then how glossy is glossy? You want to explain maybe about these colors? One of their tests is to give you a set of these, and you have to put it in order from pink to purple.
Only then you'll get hired?
Only then you get hired. So thank God it wasn't there when I joined, because I would have surely failed. Okay, so that's interesting. We'll give that a go after the interview for sure. Then again, you want to create, again, that's a totally different silicone rubber kind of material. That will come together with plastic. Again, how do they all stay together in the car? They're exploring, of course, little flecks, different textures, different colors, matte, gloss, satin, how much metal content there has to be for,
For the
the
sparkle,
for the
yeah.
sparkle. So these amazing colors you see,
Right.
all designed by this crazy, incredible team. And then we go down to what the logo will look like. If it's lit, when it's unlit, when it's in chrome, when it's got two materials.
Right.
So yeah, the most people think car design is making that sketch.
Just the sketch, yeah.
But it takes this sort of talent, skill to bring it to reality.
Right, absolutely. And Pratap, I think before we let you go, I did notice there is a paint booth towards
Oh,
the
yes.
end. So do you
Yeah.
paint the clay models? I would
Yeah,
assume?
we paint the clay models, but we
Okay.
also paint panels
Okay.
before
right.
we start the production
Right.
of the vehicle in any of our factories.
Okay.
So we have factories, as you know, all over the country, across
Mm-hmm.
the businesses. Chakan, Zahirabad, Mohali for tractors. We have Nasik.
Right.
Now each factory has a different
Okay.
age, different
yeah,
technology,
true.
different
That's true.
machines. So you have to tweak the same shade. So if you see a red
Right.
on a 3XO, which is made in Nasik,
Right.
you will see a red on, let's say, the B6 or the XEV, which is made in Chakan. They look the same to you,
Correct.
but they are actually slightly different paints, just because of the technology
Because of the
that's
tech.
used in the different.
Wow, that's
companies.
interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. So I just thought it was a matter of, say, matching like a Pantone
Yeah,
shade
you
or
take
something.
you take the bucket and you send it there. No, and
Okay.
these are the kind of trials we'll do.
Right.
We'll see them in the light, in the night, in the shade, what it looks like in the showroom, what it looks like on the street, and we have this absolutely state-of-the-art paint booth now.
Right.
We're able to do all the paint development, at least
Right.
the design development
Right.
here before we engage with our supplier partners.
Got that,
Yeah.
got that. Great. So thank you so much,
Thank
Pratap,
you.
for the time. I'm going to ask you a question which I know you're not going to tell me, but
What's
next coming out from this studio from India?
No, I'll just tell you, Sergius. We on the SUV side, it's a family of 5 brands today,
Yes.
with the addition of B. What I will tell you is that each of those brands will grow vertically. They will become a family of products.
Right.
Today, B has just one product, for example. Scorpio has 2.
Thar has
Thar
2.
has 2, and all of them will grow, appropriately.
Right.
And that's what you will see coming from us.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you so much, Pratap.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming.
No, thanks. Thank you. See you
Thank you.
soon.